Good morning to those that are joining. Hi Scylla, nice to see you here. I hope you're coping all right. I'll just get myself organised. Oh, now I've got that. Right. Hi Joe, nice to see you. Let's move this out of the way. I hope everybody's woken up to some sunshine this morning. I'm hoping Molly's going to find us today. All right. How are you, Joe? I hope you're well. How are the girls coping? I wonder. Right. Oh, still asleep. That is excellent. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Right, this is what we're going to be talking about today. So, it's just after 9:30. So, I'm going to get started. I'm hoping that Molly's going to join us shortly. She's had some troubles finding us. I know Facebook Lives are a bit peculiar. Right, I'm just going to move this a little bit. Hi Brenda, nice to see you. Okay, let me get started. So something slightly different today. Hi Jill. So Jill would normally be with us at Coffee and Card today. Hi Maxine. So I'm going to show you how we created this card, or how I created this card. Now this is one that you would need a die cutting machine for, and the reason why I'm featuring it today is it's a special set of dies along with another few set. I think there's 5 altogether, but I haven't really featured them very much, and I realised that they cease to be available from the end of tomorrow. So these products were available until the 31st of March, and I realised that I haven't really covered them. Obviously normally I would take them to Coffee and Card to show people, so which I did when they first came out, but I suddenly realised I hadn't reminded everybody that they were available, but that they are no longer available after tomorrow. So today and tomorrow I thought I'd just focus on these. So this particular set is called Sending Flowers, and it does tie in with a celebration stamp set. This is not in the main catalogue. This was organised as some extra product coordination. And the die set here is called Sending Flowers, as you can see, and it features this really lovely die cut image. It's £25, and in the set you get 5 separate dies. So you have this one here, which is the outline. You get 2 labels dies, and then you get 2 sets of these dies that have 4 flowers in each. So this is 1 die here and 1 die here. As you can see, all of the flowers are connected together, so it means you don't lose those tiny little dies, which I'm always doing. So you can use it obviously just in its own right, but there's lots of different things you can do with it. I started playing with it yesterday and I had great fun. I couldn't stop. So it is designed to go with this stamp set, and the main thing for that is because these will fit on this strip. So this is a free stamp set from Celebration, and you can get that with an order of £45. But to be honest, you could use this on its own right, the flowers in their own right, and the labels with any other sentiments that you have. So let me show you what I made, and then I'll show you how I made them. So this one here consists of, I've just got a backing card, some black card, and then I've die cut this in the green, and then I die cut the flowers in different colours, and then I've just literally glued those on the top. And then on the inside I've just cut another one of these and then just trimmed off some of the stalks and added those on the inside. And there's a piece of white card. So there's one. You can die cut this in white and then colour in all the stalks and the flowers if you wished. You could use blends pens, or you could use watercolour, you could use marker pens because it's quite a small area. But you know me, I like it simple. So if it avoids me having to do all of that, then I will. So that's one. Here's another version, because I thought it would look nice with a background. This background could also be sky, so although I've done it black as a contrast here, you could do it white and brayer it. So what I've done here is taken a piece of white card behind. I've used my sponge brayer and inked that up with Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, and then a little bit of Calypso Coral colour to go into that deep sort of sunset or sunrise look. And I've just done it in Early Espresso card to make it look like a silhouette. So that's that one. And then another one I thought of, morning Jill, would be this one here, which is the to look like the poppies. Obviously I did have the idea of doing it with red flowers, but the time I did this one it was getting late, so but I think that would really be nice. And then I've used the poppy sentiment there, always remember. Just think that's nice as an outline. Okay, so let me show you how I created these. Let me move this one out of the way. So this next one I'm going to do, this is actually an old colour, Berry Burst, but it's similar to Melon Mambo, and I just happen to have it in my ready cut square card, so I apologise, it's not a current colour, but it's the same, you get the same effect. So what I've done, just to save time cutting everything out, is I have die cut that from a piece of green card, and the layers of this size wise are 4.5 inches, 5 inches and 5.5 inch square. So that's just layered up like so, and then I've got a white layer for the inside. I've also die cut another one, just the bottom bit, because I'm going to use this to trim the flowers out from, and that's one of the label sentiment labels. So when you cut this out, it does come out really easily. I've tried to preserve it exactly as it came out of the Big Shot. And my recommendation for taking the parts out are just to start at the bottom and look, and you can use a pokey tool, tip of your scissors, whatever you've got. Look for the pieces that would be pressed out. So you can see how easily they're coming out. So I just work across the bottom, because the most fragile bit is here where the flowers are, and you don't want to be yanking at that until it's ready. So I just did a little bit of extra pressure in there, and all of these little dots come out as well. And then what I do is I push it to the back and then just tease it out. Like so. Just tease it away like that. So it comes out really easily. Our new dies, I have to say, do die cut really, really well. I'm just going to pop out the centres of those flowers. Now obviously what you can do, as I've done, so there we go, on this sample, is I've actually filled in with some of the dots. So because obviously all the dots come out, when you take it off the die cutting machine base, you can just, if you want to, pick out some of the colours of the centres, and then you can use those to fill in if you wish. Okay, so I'm going to, oh, there's one there, two there I've missed. Tiny little one there and there. Okay. What you could also do with this, which would be really nice, is some white heat embossing in there. That would be really effective, I think, too. Now, the other thing you can do is you can just lift some of these little pieces up, because it die cuts the edges, it doesn't cut them off. So if you want that effect, and also if you had a large circle die, you could cut that in its entirety and just have that on its own without the square border. So I'm going to show you how I stuck that down and how I added the flowers. Now what I have done with the flowers, just to save you sitting there watching me die cutting, which is not very interesting, I ran through 3 or 4 different colours. So I've added in some of the pink there. So I'm just going to pick up some of those flowers to attach. But I'm going to stick this one down first. I found that was the easiest way to do it. I've got a silicone mat here just to stop any extra glue. So I'm going to turn this over, find my glue, and I would definitely recommend using a multi-purpose glue for this. And my secret is, just get the glue started, is just to literally a little dot on each flower. I can see a middle there. Come up the way. I'll brush it off in a minute. So you can do a little bit where the stalks are, if you wish. So just work your way round. You don't want too much, because otherwise the glue will seep past. Like so. And then I do some around the edges. Now what I would say is these, where it's die cut around the edge, try not to get too much glue on there, because it can, obviously because it's cut, it can seep through a little bit in the gaps. Oops. So just adding that on there. As I say, just literally that's all the amount. If you have missed one, then you can fold it back and pop it on. You'll see in a minute, I'll show you that. So I'm going to pop this onto my black layer, picking that up, move my silicone mat out of the way, and I'm just going to centralise that on there like so, and then flatten it down like that. What I tend to do, make sure you've got a nice clean surface underneath, is just turn it over and give it a good press. Hi Baz! Just to make sure you've got nice contact. I don't like to put too much pressure on the front with my fingers in case there's a bit of old glue or anything else like that. So if you get to this point and a flower is not sticking down, you can obviously just bend it back a little bit, just be very gentle, and then pop those a little bit of glue on the reverse of that. Okay, it is late for you, Baz. Okay, that's going to go onto there, and then I'm going to add my flowers. So I say I've die cut some of these in assorted colours, so I'm just going to tip some of these out because I want to use some of the pinks. Because you get 4 flowers at a time, and there's 2 of those, you get 8 flowers every time you run it through. It's really easy to use. Now I'm going to just drop the flowers onto each of those, and the way that I do that is choose which flower I'm going to do. So if I want to do the tulips, for example, just add a little bit of glue. Now there's different sizes of tulips, and obviously you can, you know, you don't have to have them all the same colour. This is where I thought it would be really nice to do that in red for poppies. And then you can use tweezers if you're happy to. Let's put the lid on that for a second. Just pick up some tulips. Jill would like this, she loves her tweezers, don't you, Jill? And then I'm just going to position that on top and push it down. Let's do a few more. It doesn't matter if you put a larger flower on a smaller backing. It doesn't work quite the same the other way around there, obviously, because otherwise you get a bit of green around the edge. Let's just see. I'm going to go with, I don't really want necessarily all the same colour. Put that one on there. There we go. That one's slightly smaller. Now what you can use for this, which is really useful, is the Take Your Pick tool. Because one end of the Take Your Pick tool, if I can just get the top off, has some putty, slightly, so it's a bit like blue tack. So it does mean if you want to pick up a flower, you can just pop the Take Your Pick tool onto the flower and then use that. So especially if you're not very good with tweezers and things like that. So I'm going to pop that one on there like so. So that's all of those, and then I'm going to do a different colour for the other flowers. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. Now my recommendation is not to do, not to glue up too many at a time, because A, the glue will dry slightly, which is fine, it'll still be tacky, but it won't hold it as well. And also you don't want to put your arm or your finger into the glue on the flowers. So just split it into 2. You could just work your way across if you wanted. Entirely up to you. So let's see, use my tool here. I'm going to have a nice bright yellow, I think. Don't like that bright yellow. I hope you can see this alright, if it's focusing okay. Like so. and some smaller yellow ones. So I'm literally just almost paper piecing, putting those on. Let's have a bit of blue. Let's punch that centre piece out. So this is just so pretty. Yes, it is slightly fiddly when you're working with the, you know, these small flowers, but you could, if you wanted to, rather than die cut them, you could just colour them in, just but be very gentle. So what I would do is leave it sort of intact and do its colouring in, and then lift it out. Make sure it's dry in between. So let's just pop these on. Just so sweet to see some spring colour, isn't it? Let's see what we haven't used. There's a little one in there. So this would make a nice Easter card. If you were doing, you know, you could do it all in yellows for daffodils. It'd make a nice spring card, obviously. It would go for lots of different occasions. Obviously a nice birthday card. Just need two larger ones for that. You could also do it as a sympathy card if you had different colours, sort of more muted colours. I'm just looking for another one to fit that. There we go. There we are. Okay, so once you've got your flowers attached, what I would do is just press it down. Have you not got this one, Baz? Such a nice die cut set, really is nice. And it's one of those that's, you know, it's easy to miss, which effectively I did. I showed it right at the beginning to Coffee and Card Ladies, but it's quite easy to miss it altogether. So there's my base, so that's going to go onto there to match the pink. So I'll just use some glue. Now I was tempted to put a message on these, but in fact I don't think on the front it needs it. I quite like the card to do the talking in this case. Oh yes, absolutely, Jill. Missing the company, missing my Monday morning drive with Molly and Linda as well. We always put the world to rights on a Monday morning. So there's the card. And then I'm going to do this for the inside, although I could just put those on as is, as it's quite a nice light card. So all I did for that, for the inside, was just took my scissors and just trim close to the edge so that you get these pieces. So some of them are larger than others, obviously, some of them are connected. There's a bit from earlier as well. So literally just trimming those off. There's a little one in there. And then what I did was I added these sort of as I wanted. So bear in mind that obviously these come at a bit of an angle, so you might want to trim some of them down. So for example, do that. And you could put as much of these across the bottom as you wanted. Some little individual ones. So you could do a whole line of those. Oh, is she, Jo? Oh, good. Bless her. Sweetheart. So you can stick all of those down, and you could add the flowers as well. I'm just going to put a couple on the right hand side because you don't need to see me sort of do the whole thing all over again. So I'm just going to use our silicone mat. So I do recommend this if you're working with glue, because it just sits to a silicone and then you can just wipe it down after. So I'm going to choose this one. What I'm going to do is stick it down so it comes off the bottom. So exactly the same as we did before. A little bit of glue on each one. Whoops. There we go. So you do need a really nice light touch with this glue. You can put some glue on a sponge if you wanted. Do it that way if you're not very confident in just picking up a little bit. So like that. You can have that just coming off the end, like so. Let's add another little tulip. Like so. Just literally a small amount of glue. Pop that on there. Oh, hi Lynn, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. I might actually, yeah, I'm going to put that one in there. Just going to pop out the centre. Like so. So, add that little bit in. Like that. Just going to put that in there to fill up that little space. There we go. So that's going to be my inside, and all I'm going to do is trim that off, and I might put some flowers on. So just turn that over and run the scissors along there, like so. There we go. And then what I tend to do is put the leftover flowers in my little pot, and then I'll keep that all the time I keep the die cut. And let's just add a few flowers in there. What have we got? Nice yellow one. Do. So I'm just going to turn that over. Use the take your pick tool to hold it. You could use tweezers as well. Sorry if this is just off camera slightly. There we go. If you get too much glue on, just take it to a piece of scrap paper and just dab that off a little bit. I think this is the wrong size after all that. Never mind, I'm going to do that on there and we'll get like a double layer. There we go. Like so. Pick up a smaller one. It's just quite therapeutic, this, I have to say. Reminds me of those little diamond puzzles and things like that that you can get. There's that one on there. And let's see, let's have, yeah, I'm going to put one of those on. This is slightly bigger than the tulip shape, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to cover up the base. Oops. Like so. That's fine. I really want a small pink tulip. No, I'll have a small Highland Heather one. go. And that would do nicely for my last one, so a little pink flower to match the outside. There we go.